Hey, everybody. This week I want to talk about ice. No, not the agency. The icicles that are hanging down from your roof. The Northeast has been brutally cold for a couple of days, but now that it's warming up, we're starting to get ice forming as the snow on the roof melts. Now, as most of you know, ice can build up ice dams and things like that, so you have to keep an eye on the edge of your roof. But it also means that if you're keeping that safe, you're going to have beautiful icicles. Icicles in the sun can give off a wonderful opportunity to catch all those different colors. Now, in order to do those, you're going to have to pay attention to several things. First of all, of course, is your angle to the sun. You don't want to get the sun directly into your camera. But at the same time, you may have to step your camera down by using a neutral lens that has the thickness to it to darken it down so you can step it down. It's the same principle that you would use taking a picture of a waterfall. Now, why you might need this is simply because you could be getting too much light through it and you might not be able to step your camera down quite enough to make it match. But I'm thinking more of if there's wind blowing and things like that, anything that could be creating a shadow across it. By stepping it down a little bit, you'll be able to get the colors, right? If you're leaving the shutter open longer, you're going to get more of the color coming through than you would otherwise. And you can't step down a shutter unless you've got some way to balance out all the light coming in. Because obviously, as you step the shutter down, more light's coming in. You don't want to go your ISO down below 400 if you can avoid it. And so what does that leave you? Your aperture is only going to be able to go down so far to try to cut that off and keep the excess light from coming in. It's a bright sunlit day. You're not going to be able to get that down where you need to. So by putting these neutral density filters in place to darken the light that the lens is seeing, then that gives you the flexibility of changing that shutter speed to allow more of the colors to come through, more of that light to show through, and to give it a bit of a sparkle. It'll look more diamond-like, especially if you can darken down the backgrounds. And it's another opportunity that we have right now that will go away. Here in Vermont, it looks like we only got a couple of days left to be able to get this opportunity, and then it's going to be warm enough and possibly raining that's going to damage any of the leftover ice that's there. The snow will just melt away. I think I've got a 47-degree day coming up. Now, that won't get rid of all the snow, obviously. So there'll still be some left, but it won't have the same quality to it, the same ability to have as much, because you need the cold with just enough sun to melt the ice or to melt the snow to get those really good icicles. Having a really warm day takes both the ice and the snow out. So you need that kind of mix where it's a cold day, but it's just warm enough in the sun to melt the snow so that you get better icicles. And if you've ever seen a building with like a wall of ice on it, that's how that happens. As soon as it comes off where it needs to be, it ends up getting that the cold air hits it and it freezes it, and that's how you get that nice big wall of color that you can get from the sun. But it's another opportunity that we've got in the winter. Again, bear in mind when you're doing this stuff to be careful, because the snow is going to reflect the sunlight quite a bit. Not only is it going to impact your photography, it's also going to have a detrimental impact on your eyes. Don't go snowblind out there while you're taking the pictures. It's also a good time if you've got the ability to put out bird seed to get some beautiful bird pictures. Now, being out here in the woods, as I am, my birds get a little too friendly when I'm putting the seed out. I've almost had several of them land on me. I went to pick up a small bin type feeder. In other words, you put the seed in the top. There's an opening at the bottom. It's got a little tray that the birds can land on it and eat. And as I was getting ready to reach for it, I peeked around and there was a chickadee sitting on the feeder on the other side. I almost picked up the bird. So you can get some great pictures. If you've been running the feeder for a while, the birds get used to you being in the area. It makes it easier to get the photographs. Personally, I have cardinals, titmice, juncos, chickadees, blue jays, mourning doves. Doves really surprised me. I figured they'd be gone by now. Usually I don't see doves in the winter. I do usually have cardinals all year round. Don't have the finches back yet. They'll come back later on as the weather gets warmer. But the hardy birds, the titmice, the chickadees, they're all hanging out around the house. And it gives me the opportunity to get some beautiful pictures of those birds if I choose to go out and just hang out and take the pictures. Not something I want to do in sub-zero temperatures, but now things are warming up. I have cameras that I run outside. One's on the outside, one's on the inside of the house that are directed at those feeders. And it lets me get some video of the birds. And of course, having video of that nature means that you can stop it at any time you want, and you can get beautiful pictures of the birds with their wings spread as they fly in and fly out to get seed. So another opportunity of things to take pictures of in the winter, and putting the seed out there also is good for the environment. It's good to keep the birds happy and healthy, because having more birds that hang around your area, if they've got food and they've been hanging out, odds are come spring they're going to want to nest near where the food was. And even if you don't have food out over the spring and summer, the birds will probably still be nesting around you, and that means it cuts down on the amount of insects that you get because the birds will be eating them. So it's a win-win when it comes to bird feeders. You're helping out the environment, and you get some great shots. So that's what I got for you guys this week. I will talk to you all next week.